always been a thick, curvy babe. Ever since I could remember, I've always thought that I was fat and bigger than I am, even though I look back now and I'm like, oh, I want that old body back. I've always been lazy. I don't like exercising. I don't go to the gym. I drive everywhere. I have a toxic relationship with food. I'm an emotional eater. I eat when I'm sad. I eat when I'm happy. And dieting, yeah, that's an extreme sport of mine. I've done all the diets, keto, fasting, ADF, juicing. I've done it all. And I think I can only remember one point in my life where I didn't hate my body, and that was in 2021. And then I got pregnant. So a few months ago, when I was on my gazillionth weight loss journey, and I thought, okay, this is it. We're gonna have our summer body this year. I'm going to be disciplined, and I was not eating carbs. I was doing intermittent fasting, and I was also doing ADF, alternative day fasting. And I was feeling good about myself up until I realized that I hadn't lost any weight. And I was also going on holiday. I was going on this Kenyan trip with YouTube Black. And I just started feeling so disheartened. Like, how am I gonna go to this trip and I don't look my best? I'm gonna be surrounded by all these people with, you know, nice bodies and everything. And no matter how many times someone told me that I looked good and my body was nice, I just could not see it. When you have body image issues, you can only see what you see, and what everybody else is telling you, you just think they're lying. So 2 weeks before we're about to fly out, I realized that I had only one choice. I had to accept the body that I was in, because it was unrealistic for me personally that I was going to lose this amount of weight. It was just not gonna happen, because like I mentioned before, I don't go to the gym, and even if I started working out and I increased my fasting days, it was unrealistic that I was going to reach my goal weight in 2 weeks. If you watched my previous video when I said to you that when I went to Kenya, I felt so confident, I felt good, I felt sexy, I felt desirable. And that's because I had finally accepted my body for what it was. And I know that as we're in summer, a lot of people are also gonna have body image issues and might not reach their, you know, goal weight as well. And, you know, I'm feeling disheartened, and you're thinking, I don't wanna go anywhere and I don't wanna do anything. A lot of you guys know my personal story, but if you're new here, I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and I came to the UK when I was about 9-10 years old. The beauty standards in Africa are completely different to the beauty standards here in the UK. Well, at that time anyway, in Africa, being thick, being curvy, that's what was seen as being beautiful. But when I came here, I soon realized that it was the complete opposite. You had to be slim, you had to be slender for you to be seen as beautiful. So even at that young age, that's something that I strive for. So in school, when I saw the slim girls, they were seen as, you know, be more beautiful and be more desirable, as opposed to me, who was thick and curvy. And, you know, I was young back then. I wasn't even that big, but at that time, compared to other people, you know, I was deemed as quite curvy and thick. And that had a massive impact on how I viewed myself, and made me feel like I wasn't desirable and, you know, beautiful, because my body wasn't a certain way. So from a young age, I was working really hard to be slim. So I had to identify where my body image actually derived from. And it was from wanting to be accepted. It was one thing already, you know, migrating to a whole different country, because, you know, this African girl, she's different, she speaks different, and now she also looks different because she's thick and she's curvy. So in my mind, I thought that if I lose weight and if I look like everybody else around me, then I will be accepted amongst the cool kids, and then, you know, the boys would like me. And I carried that mentality with me in college and in university. Even when the beauty standards were changing, when people started, you know, getting their body done, getting BBLs, and being curvy and being thick was now being seen as being desirable, I was still unsatisfied with my body because it wasn't looking like the beauty standard that was being portrayed in social media. You know, I had huge arms and my thighs were thick and my belly was not as flat as I would want it to be. And again, as much as people will tell me that, oh my gosh, you've got such a nice shape, you've got such a beautiful body, I just did not see it because I didn't look like a certain image. Now we add in the social media on top of that. We're now seeing people from all over the world, different kind of women, Instagram models, women who naturally have a good body, women who have had enhancements and, you know, look a certain way. That only doubled and tripled my body image issues and the way that I saw myself. I was never satisfied or happy within my skin. And also because of my previous traumas and experiences, I craved male validation. I didn't have any self-worth. I didn't know my value, that the only way that I knew to get male attention was with my body and the way that I looked, because we hear a lot of times that men are visual beings. Whenever I didn't get that validation, I associated it with my body, and it was like a self-fulfilling prophecy that because my body didn't look a certain way, of course they're not going to find me attractive. Of course I'm not going to be their type. But babes, I'm not going to be anybody's types. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what my body looks like, it's not just about my body. Maybe they don't like the way that I look and, you know, my personality, my character, the way that I carry myself. But for me, I was just so fixated with the way that I looked. My body wasn't good enough. And if my body wasn't good enough, then I wasn't good enough. And it was just like a vicious cycle. So because I was now aware of the root cause of my body image issues and the things that perpetuated them, I now had the foundation set for me to now implement tangible actions. I was now more aware of my negative self-talk when it came to my body. So I just started scripting this down. Every time I had a negative self-talk that I was fat, I hated my arms, I, you know, hated my rolls, I was big, I didn't like the way that I looked in clothes. It was just so eye-opening to see how much negativity that I was feeding into my soul, because when you have a thought, it affects the way that you feel and it then affects your behavior, and that is like a rapid cycle that happens every single day. And to think how many negative self-thoughts that I had about my body alone in a day, no wonder I had body image issues. No wonder I hated the way that I looked about myself, because I was feeding into that negativity. So every single time I had a negative thought, I would then reframe that with something positive that I loved about myself and my body, that I loved my shape, that I loved my bum, and also remembering the positive comments that I heard from other people. I would say these positive words and positive compliments to myself as a way of feeding myself positivity and also counteracting the negative thoughts that I had of myself. I have known my personal style for a while now. I actually done a video on how to find your personal style about a year or two ago. So I know that for me to feel confident in myself, I have to dress in a way that's flattering to me. So that's never been an issue for me. However, with weight gain, having a baby, it had an impact on my confidence, and also some of the items in my wardrobe were too small for me. They couldn't fit anymore. But in my mind, I was gonna lose weight and then I was going to buy new clothes. But it's been a couple of years now since I had a baby, and I've lost some weight, but I don't have the same body that I had before I had a baby. I'm holding on to clothes that don't fit me anymore and that don't make me look and feel as confident as I would want want to. It's like I was punishing myself for having a baby and gaining weight and having a different body than I had before. I was trying to force myself to lose weight quicker so I could fit into my clothes. But once I accepted that I wasn't going to lose weight as quickly as I would have hoped to, that gave me the freedom to actually start buying new clothes. Also gave me an opportunity to explore my style a little bit. Even though I know the core of my personal style, there are a few things that I haven't tried out or I've shied away from. And also, the older that I'm getting, my style is changing, it's evolving. So I was able to experiment with new prints, with new styles, and also new shops, because I'm a creature of habit, okay? Like, I like to shop in the same kind of places, but I stepped outside of my comfort zone and I found new boutiques and new stores which sell amazing clothes. Accepting your body doesn't mean you have to stay the same or you can't lose or gain weight if that's what you want to do. It just means that whilst you are on that journey, you are still being happy with who you are and still being comfortable in your own skin until you get to where you want to go. Because self-acceptance is the ultimate grace that you could afford yourself. You don't know what's going to happen in the future where your body is going to change. You might have a baby like I did, where you might gain weight, you might become unwell, and you might not be able to go to the gym every day like you used to be. You need to be content with what you have now, what your body looks like now, even if you're striving for change, even if you want to improve, because you're going to be miserable until you get there. I could easily say, I'm not going to go on holiday, I'm not going to post until I lose weight or my body looks a certain way, but who's suffering at the end of the day? Me. Who's not enjoying themselves? Me. Accepting and loving my body for what it is now not only helps my mental state, but it also helps me live my best life, because I'm not holding myself back from doing anything that I want to do because I don't look a certain way or because my body isn't the way that I want it to. I'm still gonna live my best life, okay? Whilst I'm losing weight, whilst I'm acquiring my dream body. Don't be so fixated on your goal weight or where you want to be that you completely negate or ignore where you are now, your body now, and your life now. It's so easy to say, don't compare yourself with other people. If it was easy to not compare yourself, we would all not do it. But it's normal. You're gonna have days where you're in your bag, you're focused on yourself, you don't care what anybody else is doing. Then you're gonna have days where you are comparing yourself with everybody, okay? You can't help but see that somebody has this kind of body that you want, and this person is probably smaller or bigger than you would want to be. What you can only do is find ways to manage and to deal with that comparison. One thing that works for me is having social media breaks. You cannot tell me that social media does not influence the way that you see yourself and the way that you view your body. For me, it's mainly Instagram that be playing on my mind, chat, okay? So I deactivate my Instagram and I remove that access to comparison, because if I can't see it, then I'm not going to compare myself. And I also like to do evidence-based reasoning, because we're all different. We all have different characteristics, different genetics. Like, I come from a family of thick women, okay? So it's inevitable that that thickness, okay, is going to trickle down to me as well. And then there's people who are naturally slim and slender. Some people don't even go to the gym. How can I compare myself with somebody who I don't even know what their gene type is, okay? How can I compare myself with somebody who's naturally slim? It's unrealistic for me to compare myself to people when we're all different and I don't know everybody's circumstances. If this has resonated with you and helped you in any way, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you watch this video of how to fall in love with yourself again. I will see you in my next video. Bye, lovelies.